Welcome to Sailing Sea Dream of Clyde. I'm Trevor, and this is Kat, and together we're taking you along on our wild adventures through the passages and mountains of Alaska, British Columbia and Washington, and down the California coast to Mexico and beyond. So join us as we share an honest depiction of the cruiser's life, from fun in the sun to cold and stormy and everything in between. Thanks for tuning in to Sailing Sea Dream of Clyde, and enjoy the episode. After a couple nice days here at San Benito, we are pulling up anchor and just going to do a 20-mile run across the Cedros Island, the bottom end of it, where there's a nice big looking bight to anchor in, and then break up our day down to Turtle Bay, which would have otherwise been 65 miles, so this will just be 20 and 40 or 45 instead. So looking forward to this little run. Nice little breeze blowing, swell still up, but should be just fine for us, so yeah, we'll be on our way. Well, we are sailing, and when we only have 20 miles in total to go, it doesn't feel so depressing to be going 2 knots, so we'll take it. We were going about almost 4 knots for a little bit, so I'm hopeful that wind will come back up. Yeah, it's nice out here. And there's a sea lion checking us out. They're very curious around here.
Snack time.
While the wind was light out of the gate, a young sea lion kept us highly amused as it jumped and played around Sea Dream of Clyde. Rarely does a day go by on this coast without a close encounter with dolphins, whales, or sea lions, or all of them, which is certainly one of the reasons this area is so special. Kick from behind. Whoa! So the sea lion seems to be doing a bit of a circuit. It does like 3 or 4 or 5 jumps right behind us, and then goes under the boat, initially right at the back, and then kind of launches underneath, and then reappears behind us and does some jumps again. Flops around a bit, and it's been doing this for probably half an hour now. It's pretty fun. Whoa! And then coming under the boat. I see you. Ooh, getting more and more bold. Alright, after probably close to an hour, the sea lion friend has left. Seems to be another one resting over there, so maybe it's going to go raft up with it. But bye, little sea lion. That was fun, thank you. Meanwhile, we're still slowly sailing. Starting to feel the itch to kick the engine on, being that we're only 10 miles away. It'd be nice just to chill at anchor. We'll see. I'm going to give it another 10 or 15 minutes. Hola, amigos! We are sailing now. There's a very nice breeze kicking up right around noon. Kind of should have expected that and maybe should have not left till noon, but oh well. We're almost at our anchorage now. We're coming up around Cape Augustine, I think it's called. And believe it or not, there is a sailboat anchored where we're heading, which is kind of exciting. So, might have some friends. This is a different style of sailing with having to watch the depth sounder really, really closely because the charting is so poor around here, and I was seeing 60 feet for a little while, which had me, my hairs on my back of my neck up a little bit. But now it's about back to 120, and there are some soundings around here that agree with that. So it's just sort of the shelf that wasn't shown so much on the charts. This is a pretty wild place we're coming into here. There's a bunch of user contributed soundings in here, so we'll be real cautious. But there's not a sailboat in here, so can't be too bad.
Well, it was a cool looking little cove, and we tried to come make friends with another boat, but they didn't seem too interested. And the swell is also quite significant, so I think we're going to go check out another spot a little bit further along and see if we might have better luck elsewhere.
So we are carefully making our way to an anchorage spot here that's been left by another user on Navionics. It's 80 feet right now, but there's only about 100 meters from us. There's a big reef that's not on the chart. This area is not really charted per se. It's pretty wild spot though. That cove where the other fellow was anchored was far out, but the swell is quite big in there, so this will be, I think, a lot more comfortable for us as well, and probably safer.
We relied on the sonar chart layer on Navionics to help guide us into this spot. While it is very helpful to have those user-inputted soundings, things like these two extremely dangerous reefs are often not shown on any of the charting as we discovered on our way in here.
So I noticed a little bit of weird light on the mainsail today, and lo and behold, I discovered this is pulling away right here, so we gotta get on this right away. It's fine the rest of the way, it looks like, but we're gonna take this off and sew a patch over top of this rather than have this rip out. So I don't think there's a huge risk of ripping out because the pressure is this way, but yeah, we don't want that happening at all, so let's get at her. Okay, I got the sail off the track here, and I'm gonna start repairing it now. There's the damage there. Chafe action. So I'm starting off with some tape here. It'll help me secure it while I'm sewing. And you know, this tape would probably do just fine, but of course I'm gonna add an actual patch as well. All right, so I got some stitches on here and that sailcloth over top. I'm just gonna smack a little more tape on there. This will be a solid interim repair.
While the swell was too large to safely land on the shore here, we had a nice time relaxing and unwinding on the boat. Despite the large seas just around the corner, the combination of our newly made flopper stoppers and the breeze keeping our stern facing the wraparound swell kept us from rolling around very much, so we were quite comfortable on the boat.
It's 5:45 right now. We went to bed really early. I think Kat was asleep at 7 and I got to sleep around 8. Woke up a couple times going to bed so early like that, but had a really nice long sleep, and we're just getting set to sail 40 miles to Turtle Bay. And the wind has been blowing all night. Looks like it's going to keep on blowing for the day, so should be a nice fast sail for us.
It's a very wild, desolate place. A bit of cloud today. Doesn't look like it's going to amount to anything. We're ready to go here. Nice breeze. Looks nice and steady out of the bay here as well. I think it's a little gusty off the mountains over this steep island, but should be good sailing. All right, nice and fast out of the gate here. Flying along at 6-7 knots. Dead downwind, pretty much the direction we need to go. Right, Kat?
Yeah.
During the fall and into the early winter, all down the Baja west coast, there are lobster pots to watch out for wherever the water is under about 100 feet. We often came across these hard-working folks in their pangas in some surprisingly rough seas in very remote areas. Pangas are what these tough open fishing boats are called, by the way.
Making great time. We've already chewed off about 8 miles here in like an hour and a bit. Kat is up on deck still and feeling all right with no medication, so she's been helping out with sailing chores, and we just rolled in some Genoa when it was getting real gusty. The steep wind-driven seas here, but they're not particularly large, probably like 4 or 5 feet. And then there's the big, long period swell that you don't really even notice other than just like a visible observation, but it's not really affecting the sailing at all.
Well, I am very grateful that I don't feel motion sickness at all. But yeah, I definitely feel how big these seas are and how remote we are. It feels very special and exciting to be here. A little nervous. Yeah, still a new sailor. This feels big. But I have a lot of confidence in Trevor, and he's just having a great time back there. Picking food out of his teeth, eating snacks, telling stories. So it's definitely helping me feel more relaxed in my nerves.
Alright, we just jibed the Genoa over, and we have a really nice angle to Turtle Bay now. Perfectly aiming there, and we're going real fast, and I should be able to set the hydrovane now. So just like that, we jibed, and then the wind totally mellowed out. We're still making okay progress, but that's alright though. It was getting a little bit rowdy, so it's amazing how fast the seas subsided as soon as that wind quit. It's really mellow now, hardly even a white cap.
The wind got so light that we briefly turned on the engine, but just as fast as it calmed down, it came roaring back, but now from the northeast and off the land. As we approached Bahia Tortuga, or Turtle Bay as gringo folks often call it, we chatted about a surprising event that happened at the entrance to the bay during the Baja sailing rally earlier in the year. With just a few miles left of the run directly from San Diego, a sailboat with an inexperienced owner aboard but a well-seasoned volunteer captain approached Bahia Tortuga in the dark. As they started to enter the bay, they cut the corner and ran hard aground on a well-charted reef that sticks out from the point. This was a baffling incident to read about. Why were they following the shore like that? Why did they cut the corner? What this incident shows is that despite all the electronics modern sailors have to help guide them safely through unfamiliar waters, they don't replace common sense and good judgment. Always give lee shores and reefs tons of room, especially in these infamously poorly charted areas. I've included a link below to more details of the story if you're interested to learn about them.
Okay, we made it to Bahia Tortuga, Turtle Bay, and we're just going to try and find the store and get ourselves some eggs for tomorrow. But we were able to sail right on the anchor, which is really fun. Yeah. And Kat is feeling rejuvenated now, yeah?
Yeah.
Sort of. Got a little seasick at the end there, but no pukies. That's nice. So we're going to check out town here. We may have found downtown. Here's a paved road in this cute little town.
It's a pretty calm morning here in Bahia Tortuga, and we're just going to get set to head off out into the open ocean again. It does look like there is some breeze out there, and the forecast shows this is the best day to make our run down to Ascension, which is 50 miles south of here. And then there's a couple of small hops. We can do 20-mile hops, two of them, before our next big one, which will be 150 miles to Magdalena Bay. So that's the action plan today. We're not in a huge rush because it should only take about 8 hours or so, or I guess 10. So maybe we're in a bit of a rush, so I should put the camera down and start getting ready. Kat thinks that's funny. Very dewy morning today, very wet on the boat. But I hope the sun will come up and dry everything off soon.
While our stay at Bahia Tortuga was short, we enjoyed our time. The town is small but has a couple of well-stocked grocery stores and a couple of cute waterfront restaurants and bars. What really made this stop great was the friendly locals who made us feel so welcome as we walked around the town.
Not a lot of wind out here at the moment, but it seems to be building, so I think we'll be able to start sailing shortly. But in the meantime, we're going to charge the batteries and motor a bit. Definitely noticing I'm not getting as much solar charge now. The days are getting shorter, even though we're quite a bit further south. The days are still fairly short, and especially when we've been sailing, most of the time the sails are covering the solar panel. It's good to get a bit of a charge on the batteries here on the house bank while we're at it, making some distance. So that's the plan right now. Kat is flossing.
Dental health is mental health.
Now we're cooking, a little over 6 knots, raging along, got 29 miles to go. And we're eating carrots and hummus, woohoo! Oh, and a serious added bonus, we're getting solar energy today with the angle of the wind is allowing us to be on the beam reach with the sails on the other side of the boat. So we're making 7 or 8 amps of power right now, which is fantastic. A whale surfaced right beside us. First time we've seen one in a long, long time, but didn't get a really close look at it. I'm assuming it's a gray whale. The below looked different than the usual humpbacks that I see all the time.
coming around to Baja Ascension, and we have a friend, another westerly, just ahead of us. We've been riding behind him all of today, but it looks like we're just about to catch up. Except for about the first hour today where we had a motor. We've been having excellent sailing and nice consistent seas, not too steep, and yeah, it's just been wonderful.
Back home, sailing 50 miles in a day is a rarity, but of course on this journey, days like that were the norm. Earlier in the trip up north in California, days with that much ground to cover felt long, but now 3 months into the trip, it was easy and normal. With Kat having pretty much beat the seasickness that was often incapacitating her earlier in the trip, and the both of us having found such a smooth rhythm of sailing together, days like this now felt like a breeze. As we approached Abreojos, the wind picked up further, but it was all manageable. We chucked in a reef, admired the sunset, and carried on into our new home for the night. Once in the lee of the land, the winds moderated to a perfect speed. We reduced the Genoa some, and then casually sailed on to anchor. Because why bother turning on the stinky diesel engine when you don't have to? It felt great to be making good progress south towards the Gulf of California, and we were thankful to be aboard such an amazing sailboat that was performing so exceptionally well regardless of conditions.
Okay, we made it to Ascension and just sailed right onto anchor, and that just went perfectly. It's beautiful here. Definitely a bit of swell, but I think it's gonna be a good enough anchorage here. We won't be rolling around too much and having a hard time sleeping or anything. Beautiful here though, really beautiful and warm, sunny. It's nice.
Lots of sea lions around the boat right now. Little ones.
Thanks for watching Sailing Sea Dream of Clyde. In the next episode, after moving to the other side of the bay in preparation for a forecasted strong easterly blow, we have a scary moment doing a surf landing that results in a dead dinghy engine on our way into town. Once the gale starts to subside, we continue down the Baja coast towards Bahia Santa Maria. If you're loving these videos and feel inclined to show your support financially, head on over to our Patreon page where for your direct support, you can gain access to exclusive content. Bye for now.
Charging up on another Westerly.